Hello and welcome back to another new edition of Windows and Current Affairs. And today we continue to talk, since we're approaching summer and we are on the doors expecting summer, hopefully, inshallah, nice and warm weather. And as we are talking about summer, we're talking about a new seasonal type of tourism, which is summer tourism, and promoting Egypt in a totally different new face and way. Of course, we know that Egypt is full of a land for many types of tourism, including them, of course, or on top of them, is heritage and history. So promoting heritage tourism, historical tourism, seasonal tourism, entertainment tourism, like the concert that was held earlier yesterday, and that was watched by the whole world at the Pyramids Plateau, and also accompanied by that also is gastronomy tourism. So many types of tourism, how to promote for it, what is the latest techniques and strategies to be able to display Egypt, the jewel of the world and one of the top world destination when it comes to history and heritage. We're very delighted to be having with us Dr. Amr Atef. He's travel expert, PhD, Heritage Museum Studies. Good evening, Dr. Atef.
Good evening.
We are talking about promoting Egypt. Egypt, of course, if compared to other countries that with zero heritage or zero history compared to Egypt's credit of history and heritage, still every country needs to promote for itself. People promote for themselves. Every commodity promote for itself. So promoting seasonal tourism for Egypt, where would we start since we're approaching summer? At this time of the year, what type of tourist would come or visitor would come to see Egypt? For what reason? What is supposed to be provided and all that?
Well, tourism is the #1 industry, I mean, in Egypt, I would say, and the second source of economy for Egypt, because the first source is the agriculture exports, as we know. So tourism can do a great job with the economy and with introducing Egypt to the whole world. As you were saying, as we are approaching summer, Europeans come to Egypt in the summer because they get their summer holiday. So you go to the sites now and you see lots of Spanish, lots of Italians, lots of Spanish groups and Italians and Mexican groups. So those are approaching Egypt now.
What about Gulf tourism?
The Gulf tourism is big as well. And
I mean during summer?
During summer, and also in the last couple of days, because of the feast, there was not a single room in any of the hotels. I mean, if you had friends that want to stay in any of the hotels in Cairo, for instance, or by the resorts, there wasn't any rooms available because it was all fully booked. So that's very good. The Gulf tourism also is big, and friends and families from the Gulf countries would come to Egypt. We're talking Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and Bahrain, and Kuwait, and North African countries. They do come and visit Egypt during the summer. Egypt is known for its summer resorts. We're talking about Hurghada. We're talking about Sharm el-Sheikh, and one of the best scuba diving and snorkeling spots in the world, Ras Mohammed, for instance, with all the corals and this and that. I would say that the summer can be more inviting also for tourism, and tourism can be sustained all year round. The thing is, what's more appealing now to the travelers, what I would call this new tourism, the new phase of tourism. We need to say and mention that Egypt is not the same. I would say Egypt is not your mother's Egypt or your grandmother's Egypt. I'm talking about the visitors. Egypt has changed. There is new Egypt now, and there are new sites that are more appealing. I would say Instagramic tours, if I can say that. People like to come and do things that nobody has done before. So you come to Egypt and you go to different sites like the Oasis, for instance. They see the white desert and the black desert. This is something very appealing, and people love to see it. There are lots of things, I would call it Egypt in depth, that it's not only, I mean, of course, Luxor and Aswan is important and famous, but there are other things that might be more appealing. The film tourism, film industry worldwide is big. People do go and do filming in the Morocco and Algeria and I mean in the North African countries.
You mean promoting the country as a setting?
As a setting
for cinematography and artistic works.
And for studios and for filming here. And imagine if they're doing a movie and in Hollywood or in Europe, for instance.
That was even done before, many times.
Many times, but now I don't see it as it used to be. So if we allowed this filming tourism or this filming movies, imagine if there is a movie in Hollywood and it says has been filmed in the Egyptian desert, in the Western desert, or in Aswan, or in the Nubian lands or whatever. So this is a good promotion. This is a good advertisement. And I remember one of the very famous Egyptian actors, Abdullah Ghis, if I'm correct, during the movie of Risala. Anthony Quinn said that he wanted him to play the role in front of him several times so he can do the role perfectly. So things like that would promote Egypt. We'll get another Omar Sharif, and imagine the name of Omar Sharif. I mean, how promotion was that along the years in the 60s, you know, and the 70s of the last century. So by doing that, we'll open the gate for more talented actors and actresses. They can go to Hollywood and they be big names, and so why not? We need to open our gates. We need to open our doors, and we shouldn't worry. The television is very important. You have a role on the TV with the programs and introducing Egypt. And I'm saying this because as I am speaking to you now, I remember I have seen Dr. Boutros Ghali, the ex-United Nations Secretary General. And of course, he was Egyptian. And he said that we need to open the gates, and we shouldn't worry. Egypt is a great civilization. So the Greeks were here, the Romans, the Arabs for years and years, the Turks. So, and all those civilizations melted in the Egyptian society and affected in Egypt somehow, but Egypt affected in it more. So we should not worry, and we should open the gates and allow this. And I think this will be good for the economy and good for the culture. I'll go back to this filming industry or taking the shots for the movies, and because while working, I meet people and they say, oh, we wanted to do filming. I mean, people of National Geographic and this and that. And so if we open this will be great advertisement.
That's true. So not only for promoting Egypt as a good setting for a movie industry, but also seasonal tourism in particular, in general, in its own wide scope, like entertainment tourism. And as we know, there was a concert that was held earlier yesterday, hosting one of the most popular pop band, US American band that was hosted over here, and the turnout of people with attendance because of the good weather was great. So that type of entertainment tourism is very important, and at the same time, Egypt could be the best candidate for that type of tourism because of the weather, because of the outdoor, because not every country is suitable to be an outdoor entertainment place. And look at what's happening, a place that is a neighboring country in Iraq, for example, there are sandstorms. The weather is completely very annoying. And look at Europe, and look at for example, in China, the weather is also annoying. In Europe, there is most of the year it's freezing, frozen cold. So how exactly can we invest on entertainment tourism, especially this time of the year?
Entertainment tourism is one of the great items, as you just said, and the band that was at the pyramids the other day, and this American band, and that gave a reflection how safe Egypt is. and how secured, and give an impression about the weather of Egypt. So I think this is very important. We used to play opera Aida, for instance. Aida, that was written by Verdi for the ceremony of the inauguration of the Suez Canal. And Aida is famous worldwide. And so we need to do that again. I mean, they do it in the opera house all the time, the Aida shows. But I'm talking about if we do it at the temple of Hatshepsut, as we did before, and we invite the celebrities, we invite people from all over the world and to attend Aida. I mean, this is a great advertisement for Egypt, and this is entertainment tourism. Not only Aida and not only the opera, and Egypt has local bands and lots of talents. We have folklores and we have shows and we have bands and Egyptian music that's well known among the Arab countries, among the Gulf countries, I mean also in Europe they know about the Egyptian music. I go on a tour and they talk about Egyptian singers and actors and they know them, which is very surprising. So we can work on that and do those shows, folkloric shows, but it will be on the sites. So we can have a musical band in Karnak Temple, for instance, you know, and we can have another one in Komombo and another band, and we can do that like a schedule. So it can be a show per month, for instance, and we work on it and we advertisement worldwide. So Egypt will be on the news all the time. The travelers always want to see something different.
And as we can see over here, I'm sorry to interfere, but these are a little bit of some shots that were taken from the concert that was held yesterday.
Yes. I mean, the tickets were sold out. I have lots of friends who lives in Egypt and they wanted to have the ticket, and it was all sold out. This concert gives a very good reflection about Egypt, about the weather and about the pyramids. Imagine that you are doing a show, as you see, in front of the pyramids, you know.
You were talking about the pyramids plateau.
Yeah.
And as you can see, there is the band and right at the standing on the pyramids plateau, and how beautiful the weather could be.
Yes.
Any other place it would be so windy,
yes,
and so dusty, but look at you can see it in reality here. The weather is beautiful.
We are blessed with the weather, and people all the time want to come here to enjoy the sun. Europeans, they say we don't see the sun often, and they want to come here and enjoy the sun. So we should take advantage of that, and also during the summertime we can arrange tours in different sites. The good thing about it is it's dry weather, so there is no humidity, and so it doesn't bother people. I mean, this heat of our heat is dry, and the weather is great, and people just, as you were showing, by the feet of the pyramids, I mean, taking pictures and so on. This is a great advertisement. And imagine how many followers this band would have, and how many people are I mean, watching. And so this is a great advertisement. This takes us to another way of promoting tourism, which is celebrity tourism. And I mean, Egypt has a great opportunity with that. Celebrity tourism would come on the top of the list with me, Mo Salah, of course. I mean, he's been chosen as the best soccer player the other day. So I would say celebrity tourism is great. Mo Salah is doing a great job. People now come and say Mo Salah, and when we talk about soccer, you know, in Egypt, it's all known. You love your mother and you play soccer. You know, it's a very important game here. So when we talk about Mo Salah, everybody knows him. Not only Mo Salah, but also Ronaldo and Messi. Messi, I read the other day that he has 90 million followers. 90 million followers on the social media. We can invite those soccer players, invite them and make agreement with international hotel chains, and they can come and stay and take pictures with their family, spend their summer holiday in Egypt. And imagine when people see them, and they also, I mean, they will say, we want to go to Egypt, we want to see this country. I I think this is a great idea. Dr. Zahi Hawash is very good with that. I mean, he's always, I mean, with the celebrities, and he's always there by the foot of the pyramids and talks about it, and introduces Egypt and gives lectures. So he's a brand for sure, and we should also take advantage of that and entertain and introduce Egypt more and promote Egypt more. Celebrity tourism is very important, not only with the soccer players, but with actors and actresses, and Egypt has been doing that with all those celebrities that has been coming to Egypt in the last decade, I would say. So that's another way of promoting Egypt, and I mean, it would work great.
Including I mean, alongside with entertainment tourism, or something that is similar to entertainment tourism, is sports tourism.
Yes.
And we have seen the tournaments and the championships that was held earlier last year.
Yes.
And the football tournaments that were held, and the Olympics, and the African tournament, and all that. It was excellently organized.
Yeah.
Even more, much more better than mother countries that used to hold those tournaments for years and years.
Of course.
So what's your intake about that?
Well, sports tourism is a great idea. You know, Egypt is qualified to arrange lots of international sport championships. Roland Garros and Wimbledon and this and that. It doesn't have to be in Cairo, by the way. It can be in Hurghada. It can be in Sharm el-Sheikh. It can be in Aswan. It can be in El Gona. It can be in different places. And when we do that, imagine when people are following those sports and those championships here in Egypt, and the feedback that will happen. I think this is great. We just need to work on it more and outreach. You know, people know Egypt, and they study Egypt at school all over the world. When they come here, they say, we've been studying Egypt since we were at school, and it's a lifetime trip. We always wanted to come to Egypt. But we need to introduce Egypt that nobody knows. People do not know that they can go to places like the new excavations, the new discoveries that has been going on.
Exactly.
I mean, people like to see the new things. People like to see the new excavations. They like to say, oh, I've been there. I've been during the excavation of this tomb, and I went down the tomb, and I've seen this and that. So we need to promote that. Dr. Mustafa Waziri is doing a great job with those excavations in Saqqara, for instance. And imagine more than 20 TV channels from all over the world, or maybe 25 TV channels from all over the world, were there attending this big event. So if we promote that, if we promote those excavations and digs, and people like to participate, so we can sell tours or promote tours, telling people that you can come and you can actually go inside the site by yourself and take pictures and go down in the shafts and like Indiana Jones. And to them, this is exciting, and they like to do it with their hands, and we can promote those kind of tourism, and this will be different and more appealing, you know.
More attractive also.
More attractive to them.
Magical.
And more exciting, you know. Now Egypt is doing a great job, of course, with allowing pictures and allowing the media inside the sites. In a fraction of a second, people would take a picture in the tomb, and this picture will be all over the world in just a fraction of a second. What more promotion do we need more than this? This is a great promotion and a great opportunity as far as I'm concerned. COVID slowed things down, but it's internationally. And now that COVID has ended and people now are thirsty to travel, in spite of everything that's happening, they're still thirsty to travel. And I think and I hope that the new season of 2022-2023 is going to be booming. And because people want to come, and the foreign tour operators are really willing to book more of Egypt. There are things that I would call behind-the-scene tours that nobody knows about. Just to mention, today I was guiding a travel agent from the US of A. And she told me she did not know that they can go to Fayoum. She did not know that we have the whales in Fayoum. She didn't know that there was the whales, the Valley of the Whales, and that Egypt has the oldest skeleton of whales that's like 35,000 years old. And that's the oldest and the biggest worldwide. So she didn't know that. Imagine when you promote this and people would go there and say it. There are lots of things and attractions that people do not know it, and we just need to let them know, and they would come. I'm sure of that.
Right. Everybody, Egypt is associated in their minds by an old, authentic place. They don't know the new Egypt.
Yes.
However, the new Egypt, the new republic, is even more fascinating,
Absolutely.
or equally fascinating,
Yes.
to be even.
Yes.
I mean, to be fair, the new republic and the new Egypt is equally fascinating as the old one, but each is totally different from the other. So probably most of the world have heard about the old Egypt.
Yes.
Even if we do not promote for ourselves,
Yes.
they have read about it in history.
Yes.
Because it is associated in history of all countries, because we are the source of history.
Yes.
But we need to promote for the new us,
Yes.
the new Egypt.
Yes.
How does the new Egypt look like to the whole world, in the eyes of the whole world? And how are they supposed to explore us? How are we supposed to promote for ourselves? Start with what?
I would, working in the field of tourism, and I've been in this field for the last 29 years, I would say the guides is a very important element.
Our elements, our tools.
Our tools, you can say that again. We have like 18,000 guides in Egypt, 18,000. Speaking different languages, more than 7,000 guides or 8,000 guides speaking English, and 3,000 speaking or 4,000 speaking French and Italian and German and so on, and Japanese. And so we need to work on, I don't want to say training, because they are all well trained, but we need to make them feel and don't keep them in the shade. They should, because they're an important element. As we say, in the education process, we should take care of the teachers. In tourism, we should take care of the guides, because the guide is a local ambassador. When the travelers come here, the first one they meet is the guide. The one who delivers the product, the program, is the guide. So,
and the one who also delivers culture.
And he delivers culture. Our culture. He is our ambassador inside Egypt. And the guides are doing a great job, wide and straight, all over the country. But we need to take more care of them and give them training courses. Our syndicate, for instance, our syndicate is great and they're doing a great job, but they need, let's say, to send them publications of the new excavations. So when the travelers would come and ask the guide would know about all those new discoveries. Sometimes I'm on the site and they discover something the other day and I don't know about it, but the travelers know. They say, oh, they discovered this tomb in Kenya or in Luxor or this. Well, and we need to know more details about it, all the guides. So that would be a great job from the Ministry of Tourism and also from our syndicate to send publications and send information to the guides, so they would follow and they would feel that they are engaged in the whole equation of tourism in Egypt. The guide is the one who introduces Egypt to the traveler. So training, telling them more about, I would say, art tourism. It's not all about ancient Egyptian tourism and ancient Egyptian sites. There are ancient art tourism. So we should promote those kinds of tourism like art and do training for the guides and attract other kinds of travelers to come and visit the country. This is one of the very important things.
What are the challenges that are meeting the guiding tourism in profession in general?
Well,
what are they suffering from? Everybody's suffering. Every profession is suffering after COVID-19.
Yes.
So probably
and not only in Egypt, worldwide.
I mean, it's common.
It's common.
But what are their problems?
The problems that the guides are facing in Egypt, there are lots of obstacles.
Not in Egypt, but facing,
In general,
I mean, guides.
the guides in general, they suffer from sometimes the regulations.
The decline of tourists?
The decline of tourism affected their income, of course. And also sometimes the bureaucracy, you know, sometimes not, I mean, in general, I mean, there should be more facilitating for the travelers to come and for the guides to do their jobs. In general, if you imagine, I'm not talking about Egypt only, I'm talking about any other country. Imagine if you are stopping the guide in a place all the time and asking about information about all those, how many people you have and this and that. Those would delay the delivery of the product. Also, the lack of tourism because of COVID, of course, affected the guided tourism in general. But luckily, it will pick up and it will, I'm sure it will be better and things will get back on track. As I told you, the coming season is very promising and people are willing to come and visit Egypt from all over the countries.
Right. So what is the exact type, suitable type of tourism that we are supposed to work on now that could cope with the momentum of, in the sense of COVID that is prevailing worldwide, and the momentum of an economic crisis that our visitors are declining because they don't have enough money in their countries. I mean, there is an economic crisis worldwide, and probably people wouldn't like to travel or spend money, and in the sense of many other things, considerations.
The virtual tourism.
Virtual, you mean digital? The
digital tourism would be now good promotion at the moment when people cannot travel. So we take advantage of that and we do this digital or the virtual tourism, and people would see Egypt, and then they will be coming when things open up again, or I mean people are willing to travel again. But I just want to comment on this idea. Traveling for people in different places in the world is as important as education and as important as any other errands they do. So people will still travel and will still come to Egypt, but we need to maybe promote different sites to encourage more people to come at the time being. We encourage the resorts, we encourage the oasis tours, I mean the White Desert and the Black Desert, the medical tourism or the health tourism, especially with COVID. Now COVID and people get sick and this and that. We have the best weather, I would say, in the world, not because I'm Egyptian, but it's true.
No,
I mean, we have the sun, we have the beaches, we have the resorts and the dry weather. The Aga Khan in the past used to go to Aswan to travel, and he met somebody at the hotel in Aswan, and he told him, because he suffered from a disease, and the sun and the sand of Aswan was very good for his disease, to the extent that he fell in love with Aswan, and he built his house there, and his mausoleum is in Aswan. And I'm talking about the Aga Khan as an example. So health tourism should be promoted wide and straight. We have places like Safaga, when people go there for skincare, and especially nowadays it's very trendy. I mean, with this taking care of the skin and this and that. So Safaga has lots of I would say mineral water and great weather, and also this the sand.
Well, the springs there, the mineral springs.
The mineral springs, and also the black sand. The black soil in Safaga is very good for the skin and for lots of diseases. So and the weather is good for the lung problem and for the, so that's one place, one resort, if I would say. Hurghada is also a health resort. So medical tourism or health tourism, I would say, is the thing that we need to work on, and Egypt should be known as a health resort worldwide, and I think this will attract more travelers. You were talking before the program about the spiritual tourism, and you were mentioning the spiritual tourism and the importance of the spiritual tourism. the route of the Holy Family, of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, who came to Egypt.
The too many domes in
Too many
Old
domes.
Cairo.
Old Cairo.
The
yes,
churches.
The churches. I mean, Egypt has 2,000 churches, 90,000 mosques, and 30 synagogues.
St. Catherine. For
St. Catherine Monastery in Sinai, and Mount Moses, and people going there for the sunrise. I mean, if we talk about the places and the sites, we need like days and days to mention and talk and list. I think Egypt has all the characteristics and all the elements for successful different types of tourism. All what we need to do is just need to let people know more about it. They already know more, but we need to tell them about, as you were saying, the new state of Egypt, or the new Republican of Egypt, modern Egypt, what's going on, and people feel it when they come here and they see the roads and they see the infrastructure. They say it, they feel it. They always comment that there is lots of infrastructure going on. People, we also need to, I would say, the travelers should come back. The word of mouth is very important. So it's not like the traveler would come
and the
here.
touristic experience.
And the touristic experience, yes. And the added value of the trip.
Of course.
Travelers would come here, if they're happy with the guide, with the tour, and with this and that and all the elements, they will go back and tell 10 more people to come. Imagine, word of mouth is more important than anything. It's better than any other advertisement. So if you are having 10 million travelers who come, or 15 million travelers, they can bring around another 20 or 30 million travelers.
Right. On that best note, I would like to thank you. Dr. Amr Atef, you're a travel expert. You have a PhD in Heritage Museum Studies. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for
very
coming.
much. Thank you.
All the best to you. And,
Thank you.
same to you. Thank you so much. Our pleasure. And this is where we end this edition of Windows and Current Affairs. Many thanks to all of you. Until we see you again next week, that's a goodbye.